Howdy, hi, and hello everyone. Welcome to Noah's Nest. If you don't know what Noah's Nest is, first of all, hi, I'm Noah. I'll be your host. And in Noah's Nest, I do a couple things. Either talk about a TTRPG that I have finally read, talked about a topic that is in the genre of fantasy, coziness, TTRPGs, or I do some character creations. And today, I'm going to be doing yet another topic. This one, I'm going to be talking about adaptations. Whether it's a beloved book that turned into a movie, or a video game becoming a TV series, or even a TTRPG getting a big screen treatment. Adaptations are absolutely everywhere. But, emphasis on the but, not all of them are successful. Some adaptations can capture the spirit of the original perfectly, expanding on what made it amazing. Others, on the other hand, they miss the mark entirely, leaving fans either disappointed or just downright furious. So, I'm going to explore what makes an adaptation possibly great, what makes most of them fail, and why some changes might work while others don't even help. So firstly, what makes a good adaptation? This is just my opinion, my research, and my stuff. Don't take me for every grain of salt. Firstly, staying true to the original core. I think that's kind of obvious. A great adaptation doesn't need to be a one-to-one copy of any book, video game, TV series, TTRPG, etc. It needs to capture the essence of the original, having that same feeling that all of the board games or video games that we've come to love all throughout time. Some examples could be the Lord of the Rings film by Peter Jackson. Some of them had changes, but it kept the heart and theme of the whole Tolkien's world. There's another one, Arcane, the League of Legends adaptation. It took liberties with the characters' backstories, but stayed true to the tone and the world building of the game. Another example can be just more recently, Fallout. It took it into a different perspective, but it still kept that same tone and world building true to its surrounding. Something else that can make a good adaptation is by understanding the medium. This can be what works in a book might not work in a movie, and what might work in a video game might not work in a TV show. Having that understanding could make a massive, massive difference. For example, The Last of Us. It succeeded because it respected the storytelling format of the video game. It used changes that made sense for the different pacings and character depths from the video game. And another one can be Good Omens. It adapted a book with a unique narrative style, and it found a way to bring that humor and charm onto these TV shows. Nextly is expanding, not just copying. A strong adaptation can add depths rather than just recreating the same scenes over and over again. It could be like Castlevania on Netflix. It took a simple action game, but built depth and character-driven narrative around it. A bad adaptation could probably focus too much on accuracy and forget to bring that story to life in a way that could fit this new medium. Now, what makes a bad adaptation. Mainly ignoring the source material completely. Some adaptations make drastic changes that miss the point of the whole entire story completely. Think of the Percy Jackson book series, an original movie. The major plot points and elements lost all the humor and tone that made the book so beloved. Even though Percy Jackson was one of my favorite movies, it still will not have the same juice that the books had. Something else can be Avatar: The Last Airbender, from the TV show to what they tried to do in the 2010 movie. It stripped away all of the emotional depth and the fun characters, turning it into a rich world, but a very, very dull adaptation. Sucking it dry of all the actual fun stuff from the TV show turned it to be a bad adaptation by most. Next, trying to fit a story into the wrong medium, where some stories don't translate without any major adjustments, and failing to do so can lead to major disasters. Like Aragon. It was rushed through an entire book's worth of world building, which made it end up feeling so hollow. And some video game adaptations failed because they try to recreate the gameplay elements, which does not usually work in a passive medium like film or TV. And something else is just focusing too much on fan service or even nostalgia, where honoring the original is important, very, very important, but some adaptations are relying on it too much, rather than crafting a strong standalone story. I'm not saying these are just examples, but we could go with The Hobbit. It's padded the story with unnecessary scenes, and CGI spectacles can make it feel kind of bloated compared to the Lord of the Rings series. And mainly the one that I can think of is the live action Cowboy Bebop that Netflix adapted. It tried to mimic that iconic moments without capturing that subtle tone and pacing of the anime. It flopped extremely, and that also made all of the fans of Cowboy Bebop feel like they didn't even try. Next, adaptations to TTRPGs. Turning tabletop games into movies or shows. Some tabletop RPGs have been able to be adapted into other media, but with mixed results. Some good examples is the Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie. It captured the fun and the unpredictable energy of a real D&D campaign. If you want to hear our opinion about it, you can check out our older episode of reviewing the movie. Another good example could be the Vox Machina TV show from Critical Role. They kept it in the same realm of that funny, enjoyable, but very serious campaign that they've done. But they kept all of those fun moments, all those great characters, but without ruining any older or newer gameplay. Some bad examples could be the 2000 Dungeons & Dragons movie. It was a complete and utter mess. It was unfocused, and it didn't respect the depth and lore of the game. Sadly, some other stuff could be like the Dragon Ball Z Evolution movie. It was completely utterly garbage from what normal Dragon Ball Z was. But along the side of tabletops into movies, what about some movies or TV shows into TTRPGs? Some books and movies and games have been able to be adapted to different rule books and campaigns. Some stuff could be like The Witcher RPG. It stayed true to the dark and gritty fantasy of the book and games, but still had that Witcher feeling. Some bad examples could be some licensed TTRPGs that were made from the company, but it just seemed like a cash grab with like mechanics that didn't really fit the world that they were trying to do. Now, what are some changes, possible changes, that could improve the adaptations? Some examples could be like The Last of Us. Changes made to Bill or Frankie's story in the show expanded their relationship in ways that the game didn't explore, which I think is really good. The adaptation added emotional depths rather than just retelling the same game following the same story. And then Howl's Moving Castle from Studio Ghibli film. The movie changed major plot points of the elements from the book, but still kept the same whimsical and magical feel to it. Luckily, fans of both versions often love them equally, even though they tell the story in different ways. So why do some changes work and others don't? A good change usually enhances character development, world building, or even the pacing. But a bad change either strips away what makes the original compelling. Now, how would we make a great adaptation? By respecting the source, but not being a slave to it either. Staying close to the original can make an adaptation feel lifeless. Like, I would say The Lion King, 2019. It just copied the same exact scenes, but just made it lose its heart. A balance between faithfulness and the creative freedom leads to the even best results. Also, make sure it works for the medium. Ask, does this format help or hurt the story completely? Some of the best books work better as a TV show like Game of Thrones, while others can thrive as movies like Harry Potter. And lastly, understand what fans love about the original. A successful adaptation can respect the core appeal, whether it's the tone, characters, or even the theme. If an adaptation loses the quote-unquote feel of the original, fans will know and pick that out right away. So, adaptations are a bit tricky. When they're done right, they introduce new audiences to amazing stories and give longtime fans a fresh way to expand the world they love. When done wrong, they end up feeling hollow, frustrating, or just a missed opportunity. At the end of the day, a great adaptation needs to respect the heart of the original while embracing the strengths of the new medium. And that's it, guys. What's your favorite adaptation? Which ones ended disappointing you? I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you all for listening to Noah's Nest. If you like this and want to check out more, check out all of our episodes from the past years from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more, wherever you can find your podcast. If you also like us and want to check us out on anything else, we have social media. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that special stuff at Creatures and Cantrips or Creature Cantrips. We also have Patreon and Buymeacoffee if you want to support us in that way, but you also don't have to support us in that way. Liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, following, all of those things helped us as well. And I really want to thank you all for joining us once again. And the very last thing that I will say is see you, love you, miss you. Goodbye, guys.